Chapter 1500, Gathering the Three Divine Weapons. Yuan died. There were no surprises. In the end, he was only at the middle stage of the heavenly emperor rank, and even though his battle power had increased after his berserk, he was still only at the peak of the heavenly emperor rank. On the other hand, Lin Dong was an actual half-step powerhouse who had already surpassed the realm of the emperor realm. It was unknown how many times stronger than Emperor Yuan. Not to mention that he had the assistance of the split body technique. Even if Yuan was a half-step great power, it would be difficult for him to escape under the siege of dozens of Lin Dong's doppelgangers. One of the 5 Spirit Lan emperors, Yuan, who had guarded the Spirit Lan domain for hundreds of epochs, had quietly disappeared from this world like this. Sad and lamentable. In addition to the trickery of fate, the main reason for coming to this point today was still Emperor Yuan's dual-born body. It could be said that the twin body was a double-edged sword, allowing Yuan to have a supreme talent while at the same time creating a personality that he could not control, which led to his eventual death. After Yuan's death, the Spirit Lantern realm was no longer a threat. Lin Dong entered into the Spirit Cage realm and met Nya Hongdou and He Yaoting. After a few years of development, the two of them had opened their treasure pavilion in almost every major main city in the Spirit Cage realm, as well as first and second level cities. Although they had suffered some resistance in the middle, they had succeeded with the support of Amber City's city lord Miao Shijin. After not seeing each other for several years, the two had not changed a single bit in their respect for Lin Dong. They understood that everything they had achieved now was due to the fact that Lin Dong stood behind them, otherwise they would have been eaten without even a crumb left. Lin Dong's purpose of coming to the Spirit Cage realm was twofold. One was to first raise 10 million divine magnitude points and raise his split art to the 7th rank. The battle power of a half-step mighty, paired with the 7th order splitting technique, had already reached the top. There was no use in earning any more divine magnificence points, and the strength would not change again until the system made its final upgrade. The only way to continue to increase his strength was to collect all 3 divine weapons, prompting the system to undergo one last evolution. Even though he had already gathered the 2 major divine artifacts, the sun-shooting bow and the thunder god hammer, Lin Dong still did not have much confidence in the 3rd divine artifact, the heaven-opening axe. After all, the universe was too big. It was harder to find a weapon than finding a needle in a haystack. One could only go with the flow. In addition to collecting all the divine magnificence points, Lin Dong still had another thing to do. That was to seek the opinions of Nya Hongdou and He Yaoting to see if they would continue to stay in the Spirit Cage realm or return to the Spirit Lan domain. With the divine magnificence points no longer serving a purpose, Lin Dong would basically not enter the Spirit Cage realm again in the future. Regardless of what the two chose, he would make the arrangements. Lin Dong would not treat everyone who followed him poorly. Not to mention that the contributions made by these two were not small. After hearing Lin Dong's words, Nya Hongdou and He Yaoting considered for a long time before choosing to return to the Spirit Lantern realm. In the end, the Spirit Cage realm was only a world to exercise and enhance their soul power, and anyone who came in would eventually have to leave, and they were no exception. The Spirit Lan domain was the final destination. The matter of the two were able to be resolved, and the matter of the divine magnificence point was even better. With Lin Dong's strength nowadays, there was no need to be afraid of exposure for a long time, and he could gather the divine magnificence points in the fastest way possible. He casually found 2 or 3 main cities, met the several major forces in the city, inadvertently leaked a tiny bit of strength, the treasures naturally came, and then paid the money, the divine magnificence points came to hand. After gathering 10 million divine greatness points, Lin Dong returned to the real world and upgraded his 6th order split art to 7th order. The number of doppelgangers also increased from 81 to as many as 243, a full tripling. With over 200 doppelgangers, Lin Dong's self-confidence was so high that he even had the guts to face an Origin Realm powerhouse head-on. However, Origin Realm elder powers were divine dragons that could not be seen by anyone who wished to meet them. Lin Dong was also not in a hurry to meet a great power. After taking care of everything in the Spirit Lan domain and promising DG that he would come to the Spirit Lan domain soon, under DG's unwilling gaze, Lin Dong set off on his way back to Earth. It was there that was his home. There were his family and friends. With his strength reaching a half-step power, Lin Dong's speed was much faster again. It did not take long before he arrived at a familiar place. Remembering the message that had been sent by the bilocation, Lin Dong stopped advancing and decided to go up to the Broken Charge Star to have a look. Quietly, he arrived outside the Broken Rush Star, and before he could enter, the system automatically popped up. The heaven-opening axe, one of the three great divine weapons, has been discovered. Please retrieve it as soon as possible to facilitate the final upgrade of the system. Lin Dong froze as he looked at the window that popped up from the system. What the hell? The heaven-opening axe was just found? Immediately the system would be able to receive its final evolution? This damn thing was too fast, right? Lin Dong felt like he was dreaming. Originally, he was in a casual state of mind regarding the search for the third divine artifact, the heaven-opening axe. In the future, when he brought Yunxi and the girls to play in the universe, he would look for it by the way, and if he could find it, naturally it would be good, but if he couldn't, then forget about it, and he wouldn't force himself to do it. Who knew that they would find it before they even returned to Earth? The appearance of the heaven-opening axe caught Lin Dong off guard. What made him even more incredible was that the system could actually sense the location of the three major artifacts from such a distance, which was far more awesome than the previous touch to find out. Without continuing to think deeply, Lin Dong released his spiritual energy and indeed discovered a special weapon on the broken charge star. With a wave of his hand, a giant axe flew out and landed steadily in front of him. At the same time, Lin Dong took out the sun-shooting bow and thunder god hammer. When the three divine weapons were gathered together, an accident occurred. Only to see the system pop up, the three divine weapons transformed into three rays of light that merged into the system and disappeared. The system was instantly in a black screen. Only a few large words were displayed on it. The system's ultimate evolution is in progress, please host later. Just this? Everything came too suddenly. Lin Dong stared blankly at the few words displayed on the system for a long time. He was thinking that after the system's ultimate evolution, it would not need to travel to a higher level civilization to spend money to obtain divine magnificence points as a way to enhance its strength again, right? With the system's pissy nature, it was very likely. The 9th level civilization was further up, a 10th level civilization, which could also be called a god level civilization. It just so happened that the system was from the relics of a god level civilization, and when it arrived there, would there be an origin realm powerhouse that would discover the existence of the system? Lin Dong could not find where the 10th level civilization was and was not willing to take the risk. Therefore, he made up his mind. Regardless of what the system would become after its ultimate evolution, he himself only needed to maintain the status quo. With the battle power of a half-step great power, coupled with the 7th rank split art, even if he encountered a true origin realm great power, Lin Dong would still have a chance to escape, so there was no need to take that risk again. At least for the time being, it was not necessary. After countless years, when he became a loner and had lived long enough, he would then go to a god-level civilization and see if he could unlock the secrets of the system in the meantime. Right now, Lin Dong did not want to go. There were still many people waiting for him on Earth. In case something happened, Yunxi and the others would be sad and upset. Chapter 1501 Origin Realm Powerhouse. After determining his next direction, Lin Dong turned around and left to continue traveling to Earth. The system, on the other hand, began the slow process of evolution. 3 days later, Lin Dong, who was rushing on his way, suddenly stopped. His eyes stared straight at the system panel. A line was displayed on it. The ultimate evolution of the system has been completed. Please find a quiet and undisturbed place within a quarter of an hour. Find a quiet and undisturbed place within a quarter of an hour? What for? Lin Dong had many questions in his mind. After the system was upgraded this time, it seemed to be somewhat different from before. However, the system was incapable of communicating, so if he wanted to solve these questions, he could only follow the system's prompts. After a few seconds, Lin Dong released a huge amount of spiritual energy to probe the surroundings. A moment later it was withdrawn. There was no life present in the surroundings, which was very much in line with the system's conditions, so he sat cross-legged in the void and waited for a quarter of an hour to see what exactly the system was going to do. Ever since he obtained the system, Lin Dong had walked out on a different path of being a strong man. He did not believe that the system would harm him, otherwise how would he have gotten to where he was now? Time passed by minute. As the quarter hour approached, even Lin Dong, who was accustomed to seeing great storms, could not help but feel a little nervous at this time. There was no doubt about the magic of the system. What kind of changes would be brought about by the ultimate evolution was still unknown. The unknown was the most worrying. Even if he knew that the system would not harm him, Lin Dong could not be 100% assured. As Lin Dong waited in a tangled state, a quarter of an hour arrived. In a flash, an unprecedented feeling of intense pain swept over him. Ah! Even Lin Dong could not help but let out a howl, causing the surrounding void to tremble. It was a good thing that there was no life present in the surroundings, or else with this one voice, one would not know how many deaths and injuries would be caused. It was important to realize that Lin Dong's endurance was extremely resilient. When he had once made a breakthrough, no matter how painful it was, he had never screamed out and had always endured in silence. But this time, it had only just begun and he could already not hold back. It was enough to see how fierce the pain came. It was not only physical, but also in the soul. In the past, when Lin Dong had either broken through his physique or spiritual power, the pain he had endured was only one of them, but just now, it was a mixture of pain from both the physical body and the soul that came at the same time. The fact that he had never experienced it before was what caused Lin Dong to find it difficult to withstand for a moment and could not help but scream out. Along with his howl, the good show officially kicked off. Boundless, endless pain struck him, countless times more intense than what he had endured when he had broken through the Great Realm previously, and coupled with the fact that it was a double torture of both body and soul, Lin Dong could not wait to faint to death immediately. However, he clearly knew in his heart that he could not faint no matter what. Once he fainted, he would not be able to control the direction of things. Lin Dong did not like this feeling. He had to be awake and aware of everything that was happening to him. If any accidents occurred, he had to take timely first aid measures to deal with them. In the midst of this kind of pain that an ordinary person could not even withstand 1 in 10,000, Lin Dong had spent an entire 991 days. Relying on his resilient willpower, he pulled through. Consciousness was awake the entire time, without a single second of unconsciousness. It had to be said that for Lin Dong to be able to achieve what he had today, the system certainly occupied an important driving role, but his cautious character, as well as his invincible endurance, was also one of the key factors to his success. During the countless breakthroughs, if even one of them could not hold out and fainted, the ending might be rewritten. The moment the pain in the physical body and soul disappeared, Lin Dong felt that his entire being had been endlessly sublimated. He did not know what kind of state he was in now. The soul floated out of his body and rapidly grew larger as his physical body continued to grow smaller in his sight, and Lin Dong saw countless glittering life planets and continents with all sorts of living beings living on them. The souls were still expanding and enlarging. The life planets and continents gradually turned into tiny points of light. The densely packed small points of light combined together and turned into a large point of light, which was a civilization. The countless points of light representing civilizations formed a vast universe. Lin Dong took in all these images. Of course, what he saw was only the tip of the iceberg in the universe. Soon, Lin Dong discovered a point of light that was significantly larger than the surrounding civilizations, and based on his calculations and speculations, that should be the Spirit Lan domain. Level 9 civilizations were naturally much larger than level 7 or 8, or lower, and emitted a brighter light. Not long after, the 9th level civilization, Spirit Lan domain, also disappeared amongst the civilizations and became very inconspicuous. As a result of Lin Dong's gaze, starlight was countless. Each starlight represented a civilization with countless living beings. The universe was too big. It was so large that it was shocking. At this moment, a source of the brightest emitting light appeared in Lin Dong's gaze. It was much brighter than a rank 9 civilization, causing him to be stunned. Could it be that there was the legendary rank 10 civilization? I am afraid that only a rank 10 civilization could be brighter than a rank 9 civilization. Lin Dong focused all of his attention on the brightest point of light and realized through the endless distance that it was actually a huge and incomparable planet. He was once again shocked. What was the concept of a planet whose size was comparable to a civilization? Were there stars this big in the universe? This was too much of an exaggeration. Just as Lin Dong was about to take a closer look at this massive planet, a voice entered his mind. Ha! A newcomer has come? Looks quite young. How many epochs has it been, and it's not easy to finally have fresh blood joining. Kid, what is your name? Lin Dong did not know if the voice was inquiring about himself, so he did not answer at first. Then another voice appeared. All right. Don't scare your new friends, lad. Since you have become an Origin Realm powerhouse, you are considered one of us. Drop everything as soon as possible and come to the Violet Star. We will wait for you here, and by the way, we will tell you the story of this side of the universe. After becoming a great power, you will also be one of the guardians of this side of the universe. Only then was Lin Dong certain that the other party was talking to him. He politely returned, "Hello, two seniors. My name is Lin Dong, meet the two seniors." Even though he did not know who was speaking, he could tell from the tone of these two people that they must be Origin Realm powerhouses without a doubt. What Lin Dong did not expect was that after the completion of the system's ultimate evolution, he did not have to spend any money to obtain Divine Magnificence points to directly help himself break through the barrier and become an Origin Realm powerhouse, which was really out of his expectation. In fact, Lin Dong did not want to become a great power so quickly, and even more so, he did not want to go to some Zi Wei star and come into contact with Origin Realm powerhouses. There is no need for little brother Lin to be so polite. Our side of the universe, due to certain reasons, it is very difficult to become an Origin Realm. The vast majority of them are stuck at the peak of the Heavenly Emperor level, and a few of them are stuck at the half-step of great power. For you to break through at this time is considered to be injecting us with a new power. Although it cannot change the ending, it is still a good start. Chapter 1502 Purple Violet Star. Lin Dong was a little cloudy as he listened to the words of the two Origin Realm great powers. However, he did obtain a few key pieces of information from them. For example, the planet that was so large that it was comparable to a civilization was called the Zi Wei star. When one broke through to the Origin Realm, they automatically became one of the guardians of this side of the universe. Another example was that it was difficult to achieve Origin Realm power in this side of the universe. After breaking through the Origin Realm himself, he injected new strength into the Guardian team, but was unable to change the ending. Connecting these pieces of information together, Lin Dong slowly had some vague veins in his mind. Although it was not yet clear, at least it was not confusing. What exactly was the situation would have to wait until he went to the Zi Wei planet and met the two veteran Origin Realm powerhouses. What were some of the stories of the universe he was in? Lin Dong still had some expectations. It was just that he did not know if the system on his body would be discovered. This was also an issue that Lin Dong was more worried about. "Senior, do you mean that we have not had anyone break through to the Origin Realm here for a long time?" Lin Dong asked. "Yes. It was better before, but since..." The voice suddenly paused here before continuing. "It is better to wait for you to come to the Violet Weather Star and we will slowly go into details. After every newcomer becomes an Origin Realm powerhouse, they need to go to the Violet Weeping Star to learn about the history of our side of the universe, to know what we are striving for next, and to make our own contribution to the home we live in." "I understand, Elder. Don't worry, I will come over as soon as possible," Lin Dong replied. "And we will wait for you here, and by the way, we will gather everyone to get together and get to know each other." Lin Dong, who was sitting cross-legged in the void, opened his eyes as his soul had returned. He knew that what had just happened was not illusory, but real. Getting up and facing a direction, it was exactly where the location of the Zi Wei star was located. Lin Dong did not want to contact the Origin Realm great powers so quickly, but since he had already been discovered, there was no way out. The other party was an organization composed of great powers, and there was definitely no way to hide. He could only go back to Earth first, to meet Yanxi and the others. After all, he had been away for several years, and then go to the Zi Wei planet, which was not far away from Earth anyway, so it wouldn't take much time. The words of those two Origin Realm great powers contained many hidden secrets. To say that Lin Dong was not curious at all, that would be a lie. What secrets and stories were hidden in this side of the universe? Everything would become clear when we arrived at the Violet Weather Star. After returning to Earth for just a few days, Lin Dong once again bid farewell to Yanxi and the others and traveled to the Violet Weeping Star. After achieving Origin Realm power, his speed was more than 100 times faster than that of a half-step power, which greatly shortened Lin Dong's rushing time. Otherwise, with his previous speed, he did not know how long it would take to arrive at the Violet Microstar. The Zi Wei star was the center point of this side of the universe and the origin of this side of the universe. Upon approaching the Violet Weeping Star, Lin Dong realized how large the star was and the terrifying gravitational force. Without entering the star realm, one would not even be qualified to survive on it. How could one survive when one could not even stand under the effect of the powerful gravitational force? In other words, the beings that could survive on the Zi Wei star were at least in the star realm. Even newly born babies had the physique of the star realm. It was worthy of being the origin drop of the universe. The starting point was astonishingly high. At this moment, that great power's voice sounded once again. "Welcome, little brother Lin, to the Violet Weather Star." Lin Dong followed the voice and looked over, only to realize that above the Violet Weeping Star, a mountain peak was suspended, and it was from the peak that great power's voice was coming from. The violet weeping star was too big, causing that mountain peak to not even be considered a speck of dust in front of it. Lin Dong greets Senior. Lin Dong clasped his hands and politely said, "Come over here. Everyone is waiting for you." "Yes, Senior." Lin Dong took a step out and his body had appeared on top of the mountain peak, with the peak under his feet and a ragged thatched cottage on top of it. He was very puzzled in his heart. Were all the great powers so unique? Actually living in this kind of place? As a result, after walking in, he realized that there were other places inside, as if he had entered another space. A patch of birdsong and flowers. There were countless exotic flowers, exotic plants, and exotic beasts. Even though the vast majority of them Lin Dong did not recognize, he knew that these things were of great value, and casually taking one of them out would cause a looting. After walking along the path for a certain distance, he saw a gazebo where a bunch of people were gathered around, not knowing what they were looking at, about a dozen people. From these people, Lin Dong sensed the aura of the Origin Realm, causing him to be a little surprised. These dozen or so people were actually Origin Realm powerhouses. Lin Dong's arrival had also startled the onlooker great powers, who turned their heads to look over with a curious expression in their eyes. Obviously, everyone was very interested in this young man who had just stepped into the Origin Realm. Only after the crowd dispersed did Lin Dong realize that there was a middle-aged man and an old man playing chess in the middle of the gazebo. He once again clasped his hands and said respectfully, "Lin Dong greets all the seniors. There is no need to be polite, little brother Lin, we are all our own people." The old man playing chess laughed. After saying this, he stood up. "Little brother Lin is all here, let's end this game of chess here. How about counting it as a draw?" When these words came out, the middle-aged man immediately quit. "How can that be? Master, you're about to lose, let's finish the game first." "Nonsense. This has only just begun, how could I lose? If we continue, we won't be able to tell the winner without tens of thousands of years, little brother Lin can't wait that long." "Fine, fine. It's your call. Anyway, it's not once or twice that you've done this, old man, I'm used to it, and every time I'm about to lose, I'll make excuses." The middle-aged man seemed to have gotten used to it, throwing down the chess pieces in his hand and getting up to express his agreement. "Tian Dehan, don't ruin my reputation in front of my new friends. I'm a person who has always been willing to gamble, how could I possibly do such a thing?" The old man immediately retorted loudly. "Deli. You are right in everything you said. It's my fault, I shouldn't have thought of the gentleman's heart in a small way." "Humph. That's more like it." The dozen or so surrounding great powers seemed to have anticipated the situation that occurred between the two. Lin Dong, on the other hand, was dumbfounded. In his mind, shouldn't Origin Realm great powers be in that high and mighty stance, looking down on all living beings? How come they were no different from ordinary people? Especially the old man playing chess, who appeared to be the leader of this group of great powers, yet he did the dead duck's mouth thing. It was obvious that he was going to lose and still did not admit it. While Lin Dong was in a daze, the old man spoke again. "Little brother Lin, come over here and I will introduce you." "Oh. Good." Lin Dong hurriedly replied. He then walked into the gazebo. By the time the introduction was completed, Lin Dong also knew the old man's name, called Gu Jiansol. The name was quite rigid, it just did not match the personality a little. "Elder Gu, are these all the great powers of our side of the universe?" Lin Dong asked. He felt that the universe was so large that only a dozen or so great powers was a bit too few, right? Even if 10,000 ninth-level civilizations produced a single great power, it should not be just this little. Who knew that after this question was asked, the original relatively relaxed atmosphere of the scene immediately became grave. The smiles on everyone's faces also disappeared. Lin Dong sensed the change, he did not know if he had said the wrong thing and was somewhat at a loss for words. After a while, Gu Jinsol took a deep breath before saying, "Naturally, there are more than these, it is just that they all have very important tasks at hand and are unable to come." "I see." Lin Dong was just curious to ask, "Please do not take offense." Lin Dong explained with a false sense of humor. "Lin Dong, since you have become an Origin Realm powerhouse, you should be mentally prepared to offer your own strength for your homeworld, even if that strength is not enough to change the ending, that is still what you should do." Ancient Sword Soul said solemnly. "Don't worry, Senior. If there is anything you need from me, Lin Dong, just ask, I will definitely not excuse myself. Lin Dong also said back seriously. Very well. Let's go then. I will take you to meet the other comrades. It is precisely because they have held up the sky for this universe that we are able to live here peacefully, and I will also tell you the story of our universe in the meantime. Chapter 1503, Extra Domain Battlefield. Lin Dong was brought to an unknown space by the Valley Sword Spirit. As soon as he entered the place, he felt a strong smell of blood. It was so strong that it was somewhat pungent. The dozen or so Origin Realm great powers had also followed. Along the way, everyone remained silent and no one made a sound. In this strange space, the sky was red, and so was the ground. Even the liquid that flowed was red. Lin Dong even suspected that it was not water but the blood of some creature. At this time, the ancient sword spirit spoke. Lin Dong, this is the extraterrestrial battlefield. Extraterrestrial battlefield? Lin Dong was puzzled. Right. Extraterritorial battlefield, didn't you just ask if there were any other Origin Realm powerhouses? Of course there are. And there are quite a few of them. They are stationed here, fighting with the extraterritorial heavenly demons and guarding their homeland. Without their bloody battles, there would be no peaceful life for us now. Elder Gu, please still tell me everything. Don't be in a hurry. Since I brought you here, I'll definitely tell you. What I'm going to say next is the highest secret of our universe. Only those who have become Origin Realm powerhouses are qualified to know it, and shall not divulge half of it to others. Understood. Gu Jinsol led Lin Dong and the others all the way through the extraterrestrial battlefield, speaking as he walked. As he spoke, the vague veins in Lin Dong's mind gradually became clear. His brows furrowed as his heart became heavy. From Gu Jinsol's mouth, he learned that the original universe they were in was called the Yuan universe. The Yuan universe was very large, so large that even if one wanted to go to the end with the speed of an Origin Realm powerhouse, it would take a very long time. But the Yuan universe wasn't the only universe. Outside of the Yuan universe, there were more and more advanced cosmic realms. At best, the Yuan universe could only be considered a medium realm universe. At one time, the Yuan universe was open, and anyone who had reached the Origin Realm was free to leave the Yuan universe to see higher cosmic realms and come into contact with stronger beings to make themselves stronger. However, ever since the Yuan cosmos was targeted by a powerful race, everything changed. That race was the Sky Demon race. The Heavenly Demon race wanted to take over the Yuan cosmos and become yet another one of their bases, and naturally, the group of Yuan cosmos great powers led by Gu Jinsol could not possibly agree. Thus the two sides engaged in a fierce battle. Although the Yuan universe's great powers worked together and risked their lives to resist the Heavenly Demon clan's invasion, the Yuan universe's great powers were also killed and injured. After the failure of the invasion, the Heavenly Demon race did not give up, but instead spent a great deal of effort to seal up the entirety of the Yuan cosmos, leaving behind only one gap, which was this extraterrestrial battlefield. The extraterrestrial battlefield was also the only channel connecting the Yuan cosmos to the outside world today. More than that. In order to prevent the power of the Yuan cosmos from growing, the Heavenly Demon race had also made a bloody effort to lay down a Heavenly Demon curse, causing the beings within the Yuan cosmos to find it at least 100 times more difficult to break through to the Origin Realm than before. That was why everyone was so curious after discovering Lin Dong, a newcomer. This was because it had been a long time since anyone had broken through to the Origin Realm in the Yuan cosmos. It was not that the living beings within the Yuan cosmos were not talented enough, but due to the restrictions of the Heavenly Demon curse. The reason for sealing the Yuan cosmos was because they were afraid that some Origin Realm within the Yuan cosmos would go out and become stronger and come back to seek revenge on the Heavenly Demon race. The reason for placing the Heavenly Demon curse was to slowly exhaust the Yuan cosmos. This was not enough. Every once in a while, the Heavenly Demon race would attack from the extraterrestrial battlefield. Ancient Sword Spirit and the others naturally let them in. As a result, the extraterrestrial battlefield became a place where both sides fought. The Heavenly Demon race attacked with 3 prongs. The Yuan cosmos could not avoid being slowly weakened despite trying all sorts of ways. To this day, there were less than 100 Origin Realm powerhouses in the Yuan cosmos combined. Among them, there were also some severely injured bodies. For example, the dozen or so great powers with Lin Dong had all returned to the Dao Yuan universe to recuperate after being injured in the battlefield outside the domain with the Heavenly Demon race. Once they had recuperated from their injuries, they would go out with a different batch of injured ones. It was only through this cycle that the living beings within the Yuan cosmos were able to live in peace and contentment. However, this was not a long-term solution. Without new great powers joining in, these old great powers would sooner or later be consumed by the heavenly demon race, and then who would guard the Yuan cosmos? Once the heavenly demon race was allowed to enter within the Yuan cosmos, it wouldn't take long for the Yuan cosmos to be completely overrun. As for why it had to be the origin realm to be qualified to know the secrets of the extraterrestrial battlefield and the heavenly demon race, the reason was simple. Only the power of origin could cause harm to the heavenly demon race. Half-step great powers also had a trace of origin power, but unfortunately it was too little to pose a threat to the heavenly demon race, and forcing them to fight against the heavenly demon race was nothing more than sending them to their deaths. Lin Dong could not calm his heart for a long time after listening to Gu Jiansol's narration. It was hard to imagine. A region as large as the Yuan cosmos, countless civilizations, countless living planets and continents, countless races and living beings, was actually barely supported by these less than 100 great powers. In case the extraterrestrial battlefield was lost one day, the Yuan cosmos would completely fall. At the same time, Lin Dong also stood in awe of these selfless great powers. Perhaps very few of them were forced to do so. After all, there was no way to leave the Yuan cosmos. How can there be any eggs when the nest is destroyed, and only by rising up against them would there be that slight chance? However, Lin Dong believed that the vast majority of origin realms wanted to protect their homeland from encroachment, even if they ended up sacrificing themselves. While Lin Dong was pondering, the ancient sword spirit asked, "Lin Dong, what are your feelings after hearing this?" "Very heavy." Lin Dong replied honestly. "Yeah. We are also heavy, but there is nothing we can do about it. As origin realm great powers, this is the responsibility we should bear. What else can we do? Let those half-step great powers, or the Emperor realm come to the extraterrestrial battlefield? One look and they would be killed by the heavenly demon race in seconds. Only we can pose a threat to the heavenly demon race, so that they don't dare to be too reckless." Gu Jiansol sighed. "Senior Gu, will we be able to meet the heavenly demon race this time when we come to the extraterrestrial battlefield?" Lin Dong asked. He wanted to see what kind of race the heavenly demon race was. Surprisingly, only origin realm powerhouses could pose a threat to them. The living ones should not be able to. The heavenly demon race attacks at an indeterminate time. Generally speaking, small-scale attacks are once in hundreds of years, large-scale once in tens of thousands of years, or even once in hundreds of thousands of years as possible. From the last attack of the heavenly demon race, it is still less than 300 years. In a short period of time, they definitely won't be coming back again. Those of us who were injured more heavily in the last great battle were only replaced to recuperate from their injuries. However, the living ones can't be seen, but the corpses can still be seen. Every time the heavenly demon clan comes to attack, there will be some corpses left behind. Gu Jiansol explained. "I see. I understand. Thank you, seniors, for everything you have done for the Yuan cosmos. Without you, I am afraid that the Yuan cosmos mouth would have long ceased to exist." Lin Dong. "You don't need to thank us. The Yuan cosmos is your home as well as ours. Fighting to protect our home, we are willing to die with no regrets. I hope that you will also do your best to protect the Yuan cosmos in the future. Please rest assured, Elder Gu. Feel free to ask when you need Lin Dong. It is incumbent upon Lin Dong to fight for his homeland." Lin Dong said solemnly. "Good. Ha 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 ha. We really don't have any cowards in the Yuan cosmos. Lin Dong, you were able to break through to the origin realm despite the blockade of the heavenly demon curse, so you must have your own special means. I hope that the next time the heavenly demon clan attacks, you will bring us a surprise." "Definitely." Actually, Lin Dong wanted to meet the living heavenly demon clan right now to see what those guys were capable of. Although he had just entered the origin realm, anyone who truly viewed Lin Dong as a newcomer to the origin realm was afraid that they would be mistaken. The next time the heavenly demon clan attacked, Lin Dong was destined to shock everyone. Chapter 1504, Heavenly Demon Attack. The team of over 10 great powers continued to advance. The entire time, only Lin Dong was looking left and right, while the others kept their eyes forward. Clearly they were all already very familiar with this extraterrestrial battlefield. Not long after, Lin Dong saw a strange object on the ground in front of him. From a distance, it looked like a large fallen tree, only that it was not straight and was curved in the center. Only when Lin Dong took a closer look did he realize that it was actually the limbs of some sort of huge creature. Could it be Without waiting for Lin Dong to ask out loud, Gu Jiansol took the lead in explaining, Lin Dong, see that leg in front? N. Lin Dong nodded his head. That is what the heavenly demon race left behind after their death. The body of the heavenly demon race is so big? Lin Dong was shocked. Right. The heavenly demon clan's body size is large, not much worse than the starry skybeast clan in the Yuan cosmos, but although there is not much of a difference between the two in terms of body size, their strengths are worlds apart and are not at the same level at all. The starry skybeast clan has never appeared in the origin realm so far, and any one of the heavenly demon clans can easily exterminate the starry skybeast clan. Of course, Lin Dong knew about the starry skybeast clan. Next to the Milky Way galaxy, there was a behemoth galaxy which was inhabited by starry skybeasts, and once Lin Dong had even fought with them. However, the starry skybeasts in the behemoth galaxy were all of the eternal realm, and were indeed not a fraction of a star worse than the sky demon race that could only be threatened by the origin realm. The only similarity between the two was their body size. As he went deeper and deeper into the extraterritorial battlefield, the broken limbs of the heavenly demon race gradually became more and more numerous, and Lin Dong was not surprised. It was not until he saw an intact heavenly demon race corpse that Lin Dong took a closer look. These big guys were horrifyingly long, with green faces and fangs, and it would not be an exaggeration to say that it could scare small children out of their sleep at night. Like humans, the heavenly demons were a race that stood upright and walked on 2 feet, with a pair of scarlet fleshy wings borne on their backs, somewhat similar to those of bats. For fangs were exposed, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, a meter long, and it did look a bit creepy. It continued to go deeper for some more time. The corpses of the heavenly demon race also became more numerous, and each corpse was like a small mountain with a hideous face. When an ordinary person saw such a scene, they were afraid that they would be scared straight into fainting. It was fortunate that although Lin Dong was not very old, he had traveled all this way to get to where he was today, and there were quite a few corpses under his feet. The mere corpses of some foreigners were not even in his eyes. If possible, Lin Dong would like to add some more. Soon, the terrain ahead began to change, and what was originally a flat landscape turned into lofty mountains. Countless peaks rose up from the ground. Gu Jiansol then led the crowd through the peaks and landed on top of a platform. It was a huge mountain peak that had been formed after being flattened from the top, and was very spacious in size. There were many, many more peaks around it, all smaller than the one at their feet. After arriving at the platform, Gu Jiansol took out something that somewhat resembled a conch and placed it by his mouth and blew. The sound was melodious and not loud, but it spread throughout the entire extraterrestrial battlefield. After hearing the sound, from the distant peaks, some origin realm powers came out one after another and landed on top of the platform. In no time at all, there were as many as dozens of people. Old brother Gu, you finally arrived, did you bring the stuff? The one who spoke was likewise an old man. It looked a bit older than Gu Jiansol. With wrinkled clothes and disheveled hair, he was just an ordinary old man who was homeless when put outside. Who could associate him with an origin realm powerhouse? And it looked like the identity strength was not low. Don't worry, old brother Zhu, anything can be forgotten, but not yours. After saying that, Gu Jiansol threw the other party a wine gourd. The old man took it and opened it to take a sip. How refreshing. Don't look at the gourd, it's not big, but there's something else inside. If all the wine in the gourd is poured out, it can cause a flood. Ha! Older brother Gu, this one beside you looks very familiar? I don't seem to have seen him before. Old man Zhu saw Lin Dong and asked in confusion. Everyone has arrived, so I will introduce you all. By the way, this is little brother Lin Dong Lin, who has just stepped into the origin realm. I brought him here to tell him about the heavenly demon clan in the field. Comparatively later on, he will also be one of us. Gu Jiansol pulled over Lin Dong and introduced him. Lin Dong greets all seniors. Lin Dong clasped his hands and said respectfully to the group of great powers. For these heroes who defied life and death in order to protect their homeland, Lin Dong greatly honored them. Lin Dong, these are the origin realm great powers of the Yuan cosmos. There are too many of them for me to introduce them all. You will recognize them once you are familiar with them. There are still some that have not arrived. They are all monitoring the heavenly demon chopper's every move. Kid, you were able to break through to the origin realm under the blockade of the heavenly demon chop. Not simple. Old man Zhu carefully sized up Lin Dong. The other great powers also cast curious gazes. It was just luck. Compared to all of you seniors, Lin Dong still has a lot to learn. Lin Dong humbly said. Luck is also a way of reflecting strength, otherwise, so many half-step great powers in our Yuan cosmos were unable to break through the blockade of the heavenly demon spell, so how come you are the only one who broke through? Not bad, not bad. We finally have a newcomer. Old man Zhu laughed. Old brother Zhu, has there been any movement from the heavenly demon race recently? Gu Jian-Sol asked. Upon hearing this question, the originally smiling old man Zhu suddenly became serious. There is. According to my projections, the heavenly demon chopper is most likely brewing a large-scale attack. Oh? A large-scale attack? How many % certainty is there? Gu Jian-Sol froze and asked in a hurry. 80%. 80%? That high? Gu Jian-Sol was shocked in his heart. A large-scale attack by the heavenly demon clan was no joke. Generally speaking, a small-scale attack once every few hundred years wouldn't cause too much damage to the Yuan cosmos. However, once the heavenly demon race launched a large-scale attack, there would basically be heavy deaths and injuries every time. One had to know that before encountering the heavenly demon race, there were thousands of origin realm powerhouses within the Yuan cosmos. Nowadays, there weren't even enough for 100. It was all the work of the heavenly demon chopper. Very high indeed. So even if you don't come this time, old brother Gu, I'll send someone out to look for you in the near future. In the face of a large-scale raid by the heavenly demon race, we must gather all our strength to deal with it, or else we may lose our homeland if we're not careful. Old man Zhu solemnly said. The rest of the origin realm powerhouses on the scene all wore heavy faces. How many of them would survive after this great battle? How long has it only been? How could the heavenly demon clan possibly launch a large-scale attack? Gu Jian-Sol was very puzzled in his heart. This is unclear. Although there are great powers out there who went out from the Yuan cosmos, since the Yuan cosmos was sealed by the heavenly demon race, the news could not be transmitted in, and we were unable to know the specifics, and this time, I also discovered some of the heavenly demon race's moves first, and then used special means to project it. Elder brother Zhu, you used a forbidden technique? Gu Jian-Sol's eyes widened. Don't worry, old brother Gu, I can still hold out. Even if I die, I'll still pull a few cushions. Old man Zhu had a fierce look on his face. Ugh! Gu Jian-Sol sighed deeply. War was so cruel. Anyone could die, including him. What was the harm in dying in order to guard one's home? A murderous aura gradually began to fill the air. One by one, the great powers revealed resolute eyes. They swore to defend their homes to the death. Lin Dong was also infected by this atmosphere, his fists were clenched tightly and his heart was eager to see if this heavenly demon race could withstand the self-detonation of his own infinite detachment. After the system ultimate evolution was completed, even Lin Dong himself did not know what his current battle power was. This was because the system panel had disappeared into thin air. Right at this moment. Boom! There was a loud bang in the sky as everyone raised their heads, killing intent surging out crazily in their eyes. Chapter 1505, Hand Me One. Immediately after the loud bang, an exasperated voice came from the sky. Heavenly demon race. What do you guys want to do? What for? Of course it's to finish off you stumbling blocks and occupy the Yuan cosmos. Let the living beings of your Yuan cosmos become slaves of my sky demon race. A domineering and rough voice replied. Delusional. Our Yuan cosmos will never submit to you invaders. That's not necessarily so. As long as you stubborn origin realms are exterminated, will the Yuan cosmos still have the ability and chance to resist? Boom, boom, boom. As he spoke, several more loud booms came from the sky. Ah! Not good. There are great heavenly demons. The hearts of the group of origin realm powerhouses below were startled. There was a great heavenly demon? It seemed like the heavenly devil clan was ready to take over the Yuan cosmos. Everyone. I won't say any more superfluous words because we've experienced this situation countless times. Block the heavenly demon race in the Yuan cosmos can still live in peace and happiness. If we can't block them, we can only destroy them together. This time, the heavenly demon race is coming in with a vengeance, so everyone has to be ready, even if it means death. We can't pretend that they're good for it. Gu Jian-Sol tilted his head and said in a heavy tone. He didn't know if he could stop the invasion of the heavenly demon clan this time. Even if it could, how many people here could survive? The strength of a great heavenly demon was equivalent to the peak of the Origin Realm. There were only two peak Origin Realm powerhouses in the Yuan Cosmos Great Power Camp. It was Gu Jian-Sol and Old Man Zhu. However, these two had been injured long ago in countless battles with the heavenly demon race and had never healed. Once they met with the heavenly demon race's great heavenly demon, it was fine for the two of them to combine their efforts against one, but if it was one person and one person, they would almost certainly lose. Kill! All the great powers of the Yuan Cosmos shouted in unison. Of course they knew what the loss of the extraterrestrial battlefield meant. The heavenly demon clan had spent a great deal of effort in sealing the Yuan Cosmos. It was, after all, an incomparably large universe. Likewise, it wasn't easy to unseal it. If the heavenly demon clan unsealed it, the situation would be completely out of control. Gu Jian-Sol and the others would inevitably find a way to send a group of people out to take revenge when they grew up. There was no way the heavenly demon race would allow this to happen. For every universe they occupied, they would drive out all of them and leave no loose ends. This was the usual style of the Sky Demon race. This meant that the heavenly demon race would not invade the Yuan Cosmos from anywhere else, and the only passage was the extraterrestrial battlefield. As long as this place was defended, there was still hope for everything. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed slightly as he stood in the crowd. About to meet the living heavenly demon race and having to fight against them, not only was there no fear in his heart, there was instead so much excitement. Heavenly Demon Clan, you guys have come at a really good time, so let's take you guys and try my limits. Lin Dong thought silently in his heart. After the completion of the system Ultimate Evolution, Lin Dong still did not know where the limit of his battle power was. With his current strength, there were too few that could force him to use his full strength. Taking advantage of this opportunity to use the heavenly demon race as an experimental subject was the best. To be honest, Lin Dong was not worried in the slightest that the Sky Demon race could successfully invade the Yuan Cosmos. He felt that since dozens of Origin Realm great powers could guard the Yuan Cosmos for such a long period of time, wouldn't it be easy to add some of his own detachments on top of that? Go! Go up and receive them! Gu Jian-Sol had just finished speaking, and before he had time to act, four figures quickly fell from the sky. Boom 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 boom. In the blink of an eye, they made a close contact with the ground. Then four ragged Origin Realm powerhouses rushed out and landed on top of the platform. The four were responsible for monitoring the Sky Demon race's every move, and tried to come back to report the situation when they realized something was wrong. But in the end, they were unable to escape the great heavenly demon's attack, resulting in all four of them being injured to varying degrees. But Origin Realm powerhouses weren't that easy to kill. Even if it was a great heavenly demon that made a move, it was still the same. Are the four of you alright? Gu Jian-Sol asked. Ancient, don't worry, you can't die yet. The great heavenly demon is really powerful. Just one move seriously injured the four of us. One of the middle-aged men spat out a mouthful of blood replied. The great heavenly devil is equivalent to the peak of the Origin Realm. You guys are only in the middle of the Origin Realm, so naturally you're no match. How many great heavenly demons have come from the heavenly demon clan? 2. Hearing that the other party had come with two great heavenly demons, Gu Jian-Sol's heart sank. If it was one, he and Old Man Zhu would still be able to fight when they joined forces. With two, one person would have to deal with one. It was naturally no problem at their peak, but now that their injuries had never healed under the attacks of the heavenly demon race over and over again, they were afraid that it would be difficult to deal with two great heavenly demons. However, other than them, there was no strong person in the Yuan Cosmos camp that could deal with the great heavenly devils. Even at the late Origin Realm, they would only be abused. Leave the two great heavenly demons to me and old brother Zhu, and leave the rest to you to defend the homeland to the death. Gu Jian-Sol said through gritted teeth. At this moment, someone in the team stepped forward and said, But Ancient, you and old brother Zhu's injuries are still not healed. I'm afraid that if you rashly fight with the great heavenly demons, I'm afraid that. Yeah. Ancient, your injuries. Another person stepped forward to concur. Now is not the time to consider these. If the extraterritorial battlefield is lost, the Yuan universe will be completely finished, and you guys think that if old brother Zhu and I don't go to the great heavenly devil, they will let us go? Too naive. If my guess is right, this time the two great heavenly demons appeared just for me and old brother Zhu. There's no way to hide, after all, this is our home. Gu Jian-Sol sighed. The others were silent. Elder Gu was right. The heavenly demon clan had come prepared, hiding was definitely impossible. Elder Gu, I have a question. Lin Dong suddenly said. Little brother Lin, please speak, I will definitely tell you if I know. This time I brought you to the extraterrestrial battlefield. I wanted to introduce you to some of the dilemmas faced by the Yuan cosmos, but I did not expect such an accident to occur. I am really sorry for dragging you into this. What are you talking about, Elder Gu? Even if I didn't come and the extraterrestrial battlefield was lost and the Yuan cosmos fell, where could I hide? It would be better to fight together with everyone for once. At least we have tried our best and leave the rest to fate. Lin Dong smiled and said. Ha ha ha. Good one tried hard and left the rest to fate. We have lived for endless years and we are not as open-minded as a young man. If the heavens are going to harvest my Yuan universe, then we will also admit it. Gu Jian's soul laughed out loud. After laughing for a while he said, by the way, what question do you want to ask? Elder Gu, I want to ask, how is the overall strength of the heavenly demon race? Very strong. Let's put it this way. If the heavenly demon race were to come out in full force, it would easily be able to exterminate the Yuan cosmos. Why would the heavenly demon race still want to seal the Yuan cosmos? Instead of directly occupying it? Lin Dong was puzzled. It is not that they do not want to, but they are unable to do so. Why? Because the heavenly demon race sealed more than just our universe at the same time, coupled with the fact that they acted arrogantly and made too many enemies, they also needed to ensure their own safety, so the amount of power they could spare was limited. This time they sent out the two great heavenly demons. It is estimated that they had also been planning for a long time, so that as long as the Yuan universe was free from the threat of old brother Zhu and I, they could easily enter. Gu Jian's soul explained. I see. Lin Dong nodded his head. Then he continued, Elder Gu, I have one more thing. What is it? Leave the great heavenly demons to one of me, while you and Elder Zhu deal with the other. Lin Dong said seriously. Chapter 1506, Completing a Kill. Leave the great heavenly demon to me alone, you and Zhu Lao deal with the other one. As Lin Dong finished saying these words, the evil breaking sword entered his hand and his entire aura changed drastically. It was as if he had fused with the evil breaking sword and had become an overwhelmingly divine weapon that was resolute in killing and sharp. The evil breaking sword combined with the sword aura emanating from Lin Dong, even the several great powers standing beside Lin Dong unconsciously retreated a few steps away. When they reacted, a few of their old faces turned red as they stared at Lin Dong in disbelief. As veteran Origin Realm great powers, they were actually shocked by a newcomer. How is this possible? At this moment, everyone's gazes were focused on Lin Dong, including Gu Jiansoul and Old Man Zhu. The two of them, as peak Origin Realm powerhouses, felt it more profoundly than the others. After Lin Dong and the sword in his hand had fused into one, an extremely terrifying force was formed, causing even Gu Jiansoul and Old Man Zhu to feel a strong threat. One must know that they were the strongest in the Yuan universe. What did this indicate? It showed that Lin Dong might actually have the strength to deal with the great heavenly demon. A look of surprise appeared in the eyes of Gu Jiansoul and Old Man Zhu at the same time. Worthy of being someone who could achieve the Origin Realm under the blockade of the heavenly demon curse, this aura alone was not something that could be compared to an ordinary great power. According to the strength that Lin Dong was displaying now, there might even be hope. It was just that this matter needed to be planned out properly, and later on, a big gift would be given to those bastards from the heavenly demon clan. Ha 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 ha. Well. Lin Dong, you really gave me a big surprise. It seems that the heavens have not failed me in the Yuan universe. Gu Jian's soul laughed out loud. Lin Dong's sudden exposure of his strength was indeed out of his expectation. Originally, he thought that he would need to fight to the death this time when the great heavenly demon attacked. Unexpectedly, at this critical moment, out came such a young demon like Lin Dong, causing Gu Jiansoul to rekindle his hope. I told you. To be able to break through to the Origin Realm under the heavenly demon spell, how can one be measured by the standards of an ordinary Origin Realm powerhouse? Little brother Lin is still so young. As long as he can survive this calamity in front of him, he will have a great future. It's a pity. Old Zhu sighed and shook his head. Everyone understood what he meant by pity. If there was no heavenly demon clan, with such a powerful talent, Lin Dong might have a chance to surpass the Origin Realm. However, with the great mountain of the heavenly demon race in front of him, it was hard to say whether he would be able to leave the Yuan cosmos alive or not. Even if the attack of the heavenly demon race could be blocked this time, then what about the next time? Once the heavenly demon race was allowed to resolve their other troubles and free up their hands, the Yuan cosmos would not have a shred of hope. After all, the heavenly devil race was too powerful. The great heavenly demons were all starting at double digits. The Yuan universe, however, only had Gu Jiansoul and Old Man Zhu who were able to wrestle with the great heavenly demons, and as a result, they were still seriously injured, and even if they counted in another Lindong, it would be impossible to deal with the double-digit great heavenly demons. Old Man Zhu, don't say such obscure words. We have persevered from a team of thousands of Origin Realm members to less than 100 people left today. What are we doing it for? Isn't it that little bit of illusory hope? Now that hope has appeared, it is Lindong. First repel this wave of heavenly demon race, then we will discuss how to send Lindong out. I believe that if there is no heavenly demon curse binding him, he can definitely soar to the heavens, and it will not be too late for him to come back to free us at that time. Gu Jiansoul said with a straight face. Right. Rather, I'm the one who's bewildered. Little brother Lin is our only hope right now. As he spoke, several loud booms came from the sky. Boom, boom, boom. The heavenly demon chopper had sealed the Yuan cosmos, and Gu Jiansoul had also brought his people to set up an array to counterseal the other side. It was only that it was very difficult for them to break through the heavenly demon clan seal, while it was simple for the heavenly demon clan to break through their formation. One was the strength of the formation and the other was the difference in strength between the two sides. Just now, the four mid-origin realm great powers had opened several defense formations after being struck by the great heavenly demon, and now they had all been breached. The heavenly demons are coming. Everyone get ready. Lindong, don't make a move yet. Old brother Zhu and I will create an opportunity for you. When the time comes, make sure you see the right moment and strike with all your might to seriously injure one of the great heavenly demons so that we can have a chance. Gu Jiansoul commanded. Understood. Lindong replied loudly. Despite some disbelief in his heart, he still recognized the other party's plan. It was just the right time to see how strong the great heavenly demon was and determine how many doppelgangers were appropriate to summon. Go! Gu Jiansoul led the way, leaping up from the ground and rushing into the sky. The rest of the great powers followed closely behind as Lindong hid in the crowd. At this moment, countless huge black shadows descended from the sky, led by none other than the two great heavenly demons. Surrender! Otherwise, die! The great heavenly demon with a hideous face opened the terrifyingly large mouth. I'll vote for your grandmother's leg. Gu Jiansoul cursed profusely. They were originally living a peaceful life in the Yuan cosmos and were at peace with the surrounding universes. But it was this group of bandits that appeared, causing the Yuan cosmos to be sealed, and Origin Realm powers died one after another in order to guard their home. From over 1,000 people, the number plummeted to less than 100, many of whom were close friends of Gu Jiansoul. Witnessing his close friends sacrificing their lives for the sake of their homeland, Gu Jiansoul hated to break the heavenly demon race into pieces. Rumble. As soon as the two sides came into contact, violent collision sounds resounded continuously. The extraterrestrial battlefield was a special place that was not within the Yuan cosmos. The space here was extremely sturdy, otherwise it wouldn't have been able to withstand the collisions of Origin Realm powerhouses. The heavenly demon race had huge bodies, and every strike they made had the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. Humans appeared weak in front of them. The good thing was that humans were flexible and would not be hit by easy attacks. Lindong wandered through the battlefield, his gaze locked onto the two great heavenly demons who were battling against Gu Jiansoul and Zhu Lao. He could clearly sense that the two seniors were a little overwhelmed, while the great heavenly demon did not seem to be exerting its full strength and was only teasing the two. While waiting for the right moment, Lindong quietly approached behind an ordinary heavenly demon clan. The origin force surged into the evil breaking sword and swung it at the heavenly demon's neck. Red light flashed as the head and body of this heavenly demon clan instantly separated. The separation of the body and head was not lethal to the heavenly demon clan, and it could be recovered by consuming some energy. Generally speaking, it took at least 3 fatal wounds to truly kill a sky demon clan. However, this time was a little different. A mysterious force was preventing the heavenly demon race from recovering, and until all the energy was consumed, they were unable to recover. Corpses like small mountains fell to the ground. Lindong managed to take a kill. He stood in the air looking at the evil breaking sword in his hand. He thought to himself that the heavenly demon clan did not seem to be anything special. Not knowing that the heavenly demon chopper was one of the demons and the evil breaking sword specialized in defeating demons and evil things under the sun, it could be said that the evil breaking sword was the nemesis of the heavenly demon race. Coupled with Lin Dong's thick origin power, killing an ordinary heavenly demon race was completely effortless. Meanwhile, standing in the air without moving, there was also that person who was battling against the heavenly demon clan. He stared blankly at Lin Dong. The heavenly demon clan was just killed by him with a sword? Not even able to recover? With one successful kill, Lin Dong continued to roam the battlefield. With his strength coupled with the evil breaking sword, it was simply like a tiger entering a flock of sheep. Soon it was 2 kills, 3 kills, 4 kills. Chapter 1507, Nemesis of the Heavenly Demon Clan. The Heavenly Demon Clan had sent out 2 great heavenly demons this time because they wanted to wipe out these origin realms of the Yuan Cosmos, Valley Sword Soul, in one fell swoop and completely occupy the Yuan Cosmos. Previously, they had spent a long time weakening the strength of the Yuan Cosmos, cutting down the origin realm powerhouses of the Yuan Cosmos from over 1,000 to less than 100 left now, in order for this moment to come. Of course, those who could survive the countless attacks of the Sky Demon race belonged to the elite, with a minimum strength of mid-origin realm, and it wasn't easy to exterminate them. So the Heavenly Demon Clan drew out 2 great heavenly demons from elsewhere, preparing to kill them with a single strike. At first, neither of the 2 great heavenly demons put Yuan Cosmos in their eyes. After all, the only 2 peak origin realm members were both heavily injured and were definitely not their opponents. As long as they took care of Gu Jian Soul and Old Man Zhu, those other middle and late origin realm stages would be much simpler. But as time passed, the 2 great heavenly demons gradually realized that something was wrong. The heavenly demon race powerhouses they had brought with them were actually disappearing. Only a moment had passed, and dozens of heavenly demon race corpses had already appeared on the ground. The cause of death was the same, all of them had been decapitated. The 2 great heavenly demons stopped holding back when they became enraged. Boom boom! Gu Jian Soul and Old Man Zhu were simultaneously slapped into the ground. Just as they were about to chase them down and deal a fatal blow to the 2. Just in the nick of time, a red light flashed, and both great heavenly demons sensed an intense crisis and dodged out of the way in time. However, the attack came too quickly, and they ultimately failed to avoid it completely. Blood gushed wildly. One broke his arm, and one broke his wings. Ow! The 2 great heavenly demons simultaneously looked up to the sky and let out a roar. They had never imagined that they would actually be injured when they came to deal with one of the weakest universes. Although this injury was nothing to the heavenly demon race, it was a great insult to the great heavenly demons. Lin Dong held the evil breaking sword as he confronted the 2 heavenly demons in the air. In his heart, he could not help but lament. The great heavenly devil was worthy of being a great heavenly devil, and under his own sneak attack, he was even dodged away from the vitals. But this is what makes it interesting. Otherwise, winning without even making a detachment would be a little too boring. As the great heavenly demon roared, both sides stopped fighting and returned to their camps. All the origin realm powerhouses of the Yuan Cosmos stood behind Lin Dong. At this moment, they were completely convinced of Lin Dong. Just now, if it was not for Lin Dong's help in the dark, it was unknown how many more people would have been seriously injured or even died. And now, dozens of origin realms from the Yuan Cosmos were all still alive and only suffered some injuries. Gu Jian Soul and Old Man Zhu rushed out from the ground and landed beside Lin Dong with blood hanging from the corners of their mouths. They were severely injured and were no longer at their peak, so once the great heavenly devils got real, they could only be passive. Seeing that the 2 great heavenly demons on the opposite side had only suffered injuries from broken arms and broken wings, the hearts of the 2 sank. They were well aware of the strength of the flesh of the heavenly demon race, and this injury was nothing at all, and they would soon be able to recover as before. Lin Dong's sneak attack had failed to seriously injure one of them, and they were afraid that the next battle would be difficult. Who are you? The Yuan universe does not seem to have a character like you. A great heavenly demon stared at Lin Dong and asked. How can the secrets of the Yuan Cosmos be understood thoroughly by you? I will give you 2 paths to the heavenly demon race, lift the seal and then kneel down and apologize to the martyrs of our Yuan universe, otherwise die. Lin Dong said expressionlessly. The moment these words were uttered, the entire room fell silent. Regardless of whether it was the heavenly demon clan or the origin realm powerhouses of the Yuan Cosmos, they all looked straight at Lin Dong. Everyone knew that the Yuan universe had been sealed by the heavenly demon race for countless epochs and not even a mosquito could fly out. To put it bluntly, the Yuan universe was fish meat on a nailboard, at the mercy of the Heavenly Demon Clan. The best outcome that Gu Jiansoul and the others could think of was to be able to open a gap in the seal and send some seedlings out, leaving behind a spark for the Yuan cosmos. It was never thought that they could defeat the Sky Demon race. That was almost impossible to accomplish. The overall strength of the Heavenly Demon race was so strong that I'm afraid that only 10 Yuan universes at their peak would have a chance of winning. The current Yuan universe, it was better to forget about it. Ha 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 ha. Just with you? Do you know what kind of existence my Heavenly Demon race is? In terms of low-level cosmic realms like your Yuan cosmos, we've exterminated not 100, but 80 of them, and you're the first one who dares to threaten the Heavenly Demon Clan. The great Heavenly Demon laughed. The other Heavenly Demon race followed suit and laughed. I'm not threatening you guys, isn't your Heavenly Demon Clan's fleshly body strong? Try to see if the parts that were chopped off by my evil breaking sword can recover? Lin Dong smiled faintly. When he had just beheaded dozens of middle heavenly demons, he realized that his evil breaking sword seemed to have a very strong restraining ability against the heavenly demon race. Since it was useful against middle heavenly demons, it was only natural that great heavenly demons would not be an exception. The two great heavenly demons were stunned at his words, and only then did they notice that there seemed to be a mysterious force preventing recovery from the part of their body that had been decapitated. Then they tried all sorts of ways, but they could not get rid of this force of whatever. Moreover, this force was still continuously eroding their bodies. What's going on? They, the heavenly demons, had plundered not a few universes, and it was the first time they had encountered a weapon that could restrain the heavenly demons. The two great heavenly demons were both a bit flustered. What kind of sword is that in your hand? The great heavenly demon asked as he stared at the red long sword in Lin Dong's hand. The evil breaking sword that specializes in defeating demons and evils. Your heavenly demon race happens to be within this range. How does it feel? Even so, do you think that with this one weapon, you can destroy my heavenly demon clan? It's too naive, you don't even know how powerful my heavenly demon clan is. Precisely because I don't know, I want to try. Lin Dong grinned, holding the evil breaking sword as his body instantly rushed towards the heavenly demon clan's camp. At the same time, he did not forget to leave behind a sentence. Seniors, you stay put, let's see how I will avenge the deaths of those martyrs who died at the hands of the heavenly demon race. Kid. You seek death. The great heavenly demon said angrily. Seeing that Lin Dong was not taking the heavenly demon clan into consideration, they were also enraged. Everyone pay attention to that sword. Another great heavenly demon shouted. Lin Dong swung out his sword and the red sword aura flashed out. Even though the heavenly demons were prepared, a few of them were still injured by the sword awnings. Ah! Miserable screams continued to ring out. Bastard! Bastard! The great heavenly demon was furious and thunderous. The two great heavenly demons, together with the remaining 100 ordinary heavenly demons, surrounded Lin Dong. In the distance, all the great powers of the Yuan cosmos looked at the battlefield with worried faces. Ancient, what do we do? Just watch like this? Lin Dong is the hope of our Yuan cosmos. Trust Lin Dong. I always feel that kid is not simple, he definitely still has his cards. Gu Jiansoul returned. Suddenly a voice rang out. Thank you, Senior Gu, for your trust. The crowd followed the voice and instantly had shocked expressions on their faces. Only to see that Lin Dong had appeared in the group at an unknown time. Lin Dong, you? Gu Jiansoul was also stunned. He looked at Lin Dong in the crowd, and then at the figure that was surrounded by the heavenly demon clan, holding a red longsword and swimming with ease. How? Could there be two Lin Dongs? Seniors, follow me and watch the show. I will slowly explain to you all later. Lin Dong laughed. Chapter 1508 Total Annihilation. With Lin Dong's cautious character, of course he would not allow his own body to take the risk. In case something went wrong, it would be too late to regret. How good would it be to use a doppelganger? He could summon it again if he was injured or died, and he could even self-detonate to injure the enemy at critical moments. So during the battle just now, he had quietly summoned his doppelganger out. The one holding the evil breaking sword that was now surrounded by the heavenly demon race was nothing more than a bilocation. The main body was watching the show in the Yuan Cosmos camp. When Gu Jiansoul and the others heard Lin Dong tell them to watch the show, even though they had many questions in their hearts, they did not ask them and their eyes stared curiously at the battlefield. In their hearts, they could not help but think. Was this kid really a newcomer who had just stepped into the origin realm? Moreover, that sword was not simple, it could actually restrain the heavenly demon race. Lin Dong's doppelganger faced the siege from the many heavenly demon race as well as the two great heavenly demons and found the right moment to throw the evil breaking sword in his hand at one of the heavenly demons. That targeted heavenly demon saw the evil breaking sword coming and was shocked as his body shivered. They had seen the power of the evil breaking sword a long time ago, as evidenced by the dozens of heavenly devil corpses on the ground, as well as the injuries of the two great heavenly devils. Once touched by that sword, one would either die or be injured. It wanted to escape, but the speed of the evil breaking sword was too fast, instantly penetrating its body and shooting towards the back. The heart was pierced through, and then a mysterious power surged in, preventing it from recovering while still destroying the flesh. The heavenly demon that was penetrated by the evil breaking sword only felt a wave of weakness in its body, and its body involuntarily fell towards the bottom. The fact that one heavenly demon was seriously injured instead caused the other heavenly demons to rejoice in their hearts. This was because Lin Dong's most threatening evil breaking sword was lost. Without the evil breaking sword, they would not be afraid of this human. One by one, the heavenly devils tightened their encirclement to tear Lin Dong apart. The two heavenly demons had long wanted to take revenge, but due to the power of the evil breaking sword, they did not dare to get close. Now that Lin Dong did not have the evil breaking sword in his hands, they also bullied their way in. Little did they realize that there was a bigger trap waiting for them. Seniors, let's retreat a little further. Next I will invite you to enjoy the fireworks feast, and by the way, I will give you a great gift that I believe you will enjoy. Lin Dong smiled faintly. Listen to Lin Dong, retreat. Gu Jiansoul added. All the great powers of the Yuan cosmos collectively quickly retreated and stopped after reaching a certain distance. Rumble. A deafening roar appeared, and everyone couldn't help but cover their ears as they stared blankly at the scene before them. Only to see an extremely terrifying large explosion occurring in the center of the battlefield. All of the heavenly demon clans were blown to smithereens in this big explosion. Even the two great heavenly demons were no exception. Powerful aftershocks swept through the area, and even from a long distance away, the Yuan cosmos' great powers had to defend themselves with all their might, and even then they were shaken back once again. If this wasn't the special space of the extraterrestrial battlefield, but rather in the outside world, this explosion alone would have completely destroyed a 9th-level civilization, and even the surrounding civilizations would have been affected. Was it a joke for an origin realm powerhouse to self-detonate? Not to mention that Lin Dong was not that ordinary origin realm. What is this? Gu Jiansoul and the others were confused. Ever since the Yuan universe had been sealed, the heavenly demon race had launched countless attacks, and trying to kill these extraterrestrial heavenly demons was basically a matter of exchanging one's life for another. However, this time, taking out so many heavenly demon clans without any losses, in the past, it would be unthinkable. Senior Gu, do you still like this great gift? Lin Dong laughed. Ha ha. Like it. Really like it too much, Lin Dong, you have really given me a great surprise. Originally, we had all despaired, only thinking that one day we would be able to break the seal of the heavenly demon clan and send some seedlings out to keep our hopes alive, but at this critical moment, the Yuan universe has produced a character like you. It seems that this is the heavens that will not die for us. Gu Jiansoul laughed out loud. Lin Dong was also somewhat puzzled at this moment. Some things were too coincidental. Did the system appear just to give the Yuan cosmos a little hope? Then what if he died halfway through? Or what if he was a little more cautious and did not grow so fast? Wouldn't the Yuan cosmos be overrun by the heavenly demons? Who actually created the system? Nowadays, it seemed obvious that it wasn't a product of the Yuan cosmos. If someone from the Yuan universe was able to create something as heaven-defying as the system, why would they have been sealed and trapped by the heavenly demon clan for such a long period of time, needing to break through by themselves? Since he could not figure it out, Lin Dong stopped thinking about it. For now, it was better to settle the matter of the heavenly demon race first and return a clear sky to the Yuan universe. It was at this time. In front of the place where the big explosion occurred, there were two energy vortexes that converged together and slowly formed two giant figures, which were precisely the two great heavenly demons of the heavenly demon race. Although the power of Lin Dong's alter ego's self-detonation was great, it did not have the kind of mysterious power of the evil-breaking sword that restrained evil demons, and it could not prevent the great heavenly demons from recovering on their own. Of course, the small heavenly devil and the middle heavenly devil did not have the recovery power of the great heavenly devil, and they had already completely died in the big explosion. Only the great heavenly devil was able to escape, but even if he was able to recover, he was already at the end of his strong bow, and he couldn't even defeat Gu Jinsol and Old Man Zhu. The true bodies of the two great heavenly demons had just recovered, and before they had time to escape, a red light flashed and chopped off their heads, followed by several more red sword slashes appearing, and their bodies were dismantled in large pieces. Being hit by the evil-breaking sword was not lower than the damage received in the explosion just now. After all, the evil-breaking sword was the nemesis of the heavenly demon race and could inhibit the recovery of their fleshly bodies, something that Lin Dong's doppelganger's self-detonation could not do. Each had its own usefulness. When used in combination, the effect was absolutely amazing. Just like now. The great heavenly demon could dodge the attack of the evil-breaking sword with defense, but having just been injured by the large explosion, recovering from it had already used up 80% of its energy, and in the end, it was just a single strike. The corpses of the two great heavenly demons quickly fell, and another doppelganger of Lin Dong appeared at the location where they had just been, holding the evil-breaking sword. At this point, the two great heavenly demons as well as more than 100 medium and small heavenly demons were all annihilated by Lin Dong alone. The cost was nothing more than the self-detonation of a doppelganger, which was negligibly small. However, this was also the result of a surprise. At that time, after Lin Dong's doppelganger lost the evil-breaking sword, all the heavenly demons had surrounded him in order to break him into pieces, which gave Lin Dong the best opportunity to self-destruct. Otherwise, the effect would definitely not have been as good. The great powers of the Yuan cosmos felt confused as they looked at the Lin Dong beside them and then at the one in the distance holding the red long sword. Hadn't one just exploded itself? How did another Lin Dong appear? This couldn't be a secret technique, could it? If there really was such a heaven-defying secret art, wouldn't it be invincible? Lin Dong, is this? Gu Jinsol asked as he pointed at the distant doppelganger. The others also cast curious gazes. Elder Gu, that is my doppelganger. We will slowly talk about the specifics later. Right now, we should rush out and break the seal of the Yuan cosmos before the heavenly demon race reacts, otherwise, when they come back to their senses and make preparations, it won't be too easy. Lin Dong said seriously. Chapter 1509, Breaking the Seal, Aloha Universe, Grand Finale. Rushing out? Gu Jinsol was a little hesitant when he heard Lin Dong's words. Not to mention whether or not they could break the seal, even if they did, what they would have to face would still be the main force of the Heavenly Demon Clan. Outside the Yuan universe, an army of the Heavenly Demon Clan was stationed to monitor the movements of the Yuan universe as well as several surrounding universes at all times. There were at least 2 digits of great heavenly demons. However, when he thought of Lin Dong's performance just now, where he had even killed 2 great heavenly demons, he was relieved again. Are you sure? Gu Jinsol asked. Give it a try. How will we know if we don't try? Lin Dong returned. Good. Then we will accompany you in your gamble. Sooner or later, the Heavenly Demon Clan will attack here even if we guard here anyway, so we might as well put up a fight now. What do you all think? Gu Jinsol finished looking at the crowd. Kill! The great powers of the Yuan cosmos shouted in unison. Being trapped here for so long, watching their comrades around them die one by one, everyone had long held a fire in their hearts. Now that there was a hope for revenge after a long time, how could they let it go? Thank you all, seniors, for your trust. Let's set off then. After Lin Dong finished speaking, he took the lead in rushing up into the sky, with his doppelganger following closely behind. Gu Jinsol and Old Man Zhu also followed. Lastly were the rest of the Yuan cosmos great powers. In the process of rushing up, Lin Dong's bilocations appeared out of thin air around him, and in the blink of an eye, there were as many as hundreds of them. Seeing this, Gu Jinsol and the others who were following behind all rubbed their eyes in unison, completely unable to believe what was in front of them. They had seen with their own eyes the destructive power caused by one of Lin Dong's doppelgangers, which was not even a match for a great heavenly demon. What was the concept of hundreds? This power was enough to make even the heavenly demons fearful. In an instant, all the great powers of the Yuan cosmos were agitated. Shoo! The evil breaker's sword swung out a red sword blade, cutting a small gap in the seal set by the heavenly demon race. Immediately afterward, a doppelganger entered within the gap and immediately exploded itself. Rumble. The powerful and unrivaled destructive force directly expanded the gap hundreds of times. Then there were several more loud bangs. The gap had been blown up to a very large size. Lin Dan led hundreds of doppelgangers, as well as the Yuan Cosmos great powers, to rush out. The moment they came out, all of them felt that their physical bodies and souls were much lighter. This was a sign that the heavenly demon curse had disappeared. After exiting the Yuan Cosmos, what awaited Lin Dan and the others was the densely packed army of the heavenly demon race. Just when all of the heavenly demon race that had entered the Yuan Cosmos died, the heavenly demon race outside had already sensed it and were gathering in preparation to enter the Yuan Cosmos to check the specifics. The strength of the heavenly demon race was considered very strong even in the higher cosmic plane. In a lower universe realm like the Yuan Cosmos, they usually went after more than one at the same time. First sealing them, slowly weakening their strength, and then finally invading and occupying them to plunder resources. Facing such a large number of heavenly demons, Lin Dan was not afraid in the slightest. Next was the time for him to create a visual feast. Leaving behind some of his doppelgangers to protect the safety of Gu Jiansoul and the other doppelgangers dispersed and rushed into the camp of the heavenly demon race. Boom, boom, boom. One loud explosion after another appeared. Every big explosion would take away the lives of countless heavenly demon race. Soon enough, some great heavenly demons realized that something was wrong. However, they could not stop it and did not even dare to approach, they could only hide. However, there were Lin Dan's doppelgangers everywhere, so where could they hide? An army of the heavenly demon race outside the Yuan Cosmos was reduced to ashes in dozens of large explosions. Countless heavenly demons died. The formation base that sealed the Yuan Cosmos was also destroyed. The seal of the Yuan Cosmos was completely lifted, and along with it, the heavenly demon curse also lost its effect. At this moment, all the living beings within the Yuan Cosmos felt that their physical bodies and souls were lighter, as if some sort of shackle had disappeared. In particular, the strongest feelings were felt by the Emperor realm powerhouses. Without the suppression of the heavenly demon mantra, the Yuan Cosmos would inevitably see a blowout next, with newcomers to the origin realm all appearing in batches. The great heavenly demons that had survived the great explosion were dumbfounded. This was the first time the heavenly devil race had encountered a counterattack from a lower cosmic realm. This had never happened before. A self-explosion with such great power was too much for even a great heavenly demon to withstand. Although it wasn't enough to be fatal, it would at least cause the great heavenly demon to be seriously injured and lose a large portion of its battle power. One big explosion could seriously injure a great heavenly demon at the center, and 2 more times, even a great heavenly demon would have to drink hate on the spot. Lin Dan could be said to be fighting the heavenly demon army alone. Gu Jiansoul and the others had followed him, but they were completely watching the show, not to mention helping. They could not even get close, and even needed Lin Dan's distraction to protect them. At this moment, they had finally seen what kind of demonic figure had emerged from the Yuan Cosmos. The news that the heavenly demon race's army stationed outside the Yuan Cosmos had been decimated by the regiment was quickly spread back by the great heavenly demons that had survived. Having suffered such a heavy blow, the heavenly demon race naturally would not let up and drew all their forces back to where the Yuan Cosmos was located. Just as Lin Dan was about to make a move against the remaining great heavenly demons, a muffled voice rolled in from the distance. Daring! Dare to injure my heavenly demon clan, seeking death. When the several great heavenly demons heard this voice, a look of surprise immediately appeared on their fearful faces. The words spoken were from the Grand Elder of the heavenly demon clan, an existence that had already half stepped out of the origin realm. Lin Dan also sensed that the strength of the heavenly demon who spoke was not simple. It was 1 level stronger than the great heavenly demon. However, he was not afraid. Because until now, he had not even used his full strength. Reaching out, he took out a palm-sized gourd and drank freely, and the loss of essence and blood was immediately replenished. Densely packed doppelgangers were once again summoned out by Lin Dan. The huge spiritual power manipulated the doppelgangers and rushed towards the place where the sound came from. A moment later. Boom, 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 boom. Countless terrifying large explosions exploded in the void as if they were fireworks. Each of Lin Dan's doppelgangers was able to accurately arrive at the site of the heavenly demon clan's Grand Elder before blowing themselves up. After the completion of the system Ultimate Evolution, Lin Dong's mental power had again increased tremendously, and not even the heavenly demon race Grand Elder could escape his perception. The doppelganger was like being equipped with a locator. No matter where the target was hiding, he could find it. Even an existence like the heavenly demon race's Grand Elder became wretched after enduring dozens of explosions. It had traveled across the 10,000 realms of the universe for many years, but it had never seen such a bizarre fighting style, and it could not hide even if it wanted to. The power of each explosion was comparable to a top-tier great heavenly demon. Soon, the great elder of the heavenly demon race felt that this was not the way to go on. The key was seeing hundreds of other figures surrounded from all directions. Another dozens or hundreds of big explosions. Even if he had already stepped out of the origin realm, he would still have to be seriously injured, so it was better to go back and study and understand what was going on first. So he found a weak direction and ran away without looking back. Successfully repelling the heavenly demon clan's Grand Elder, Lin Dong did not go after him either. He understood that trying to kill an existence of this level was just too difficult. In the event that the other party found out his original body, the consequences could be severe. The great celestial demons that had managed to survive immediately tried to leave the area when they saw that even the great elder had run away. However, they were already surrounded by hundreds of Lin Dong's doppelgangers and would die if they moved. Gu Jian's soul and the other great powers of the Yuan cosmos had all become numb at this point. They had decided that Lin Dong was the savior of the Yuan cosmos, having been born under the suppression of the heavenly demon curse, collecting the chi of the entire Yuan cosmos, and that it was only natural for Lin Dong to create whatever kind of battles he could. Even if someone said that Lin Dong had already surpassed the origin realm, they would believe it. With Lin Dong around, the Yuan cosmos no longer had to fear any heavenly demon clan. Many years later, more than a dozen interstellar travelers appeared within the Yuan cosmos, traveling through the starry sky in an exquisite ship. At each civilization, they would stop and admire it for a while, and then continue to depart for the next civilization, with no end in sight, going wherever they went. All kinds of terrifying disasters in the cosmic stars couldn't cause the slightest disturbance to them, simply because there was a number one powerhouse of the Yuan cosmos among them. The whole book is finished.